This is going to be the start of the 9th week, which is going to be the last week before stripe test. So that means we have to review our form and make sure that we have it all nice and down before graduation and before stripe test. And also, we have to make sure that we look strong, and first, we have to start off with a warm-up. After that, we are going to do our mental and physical goals while we are stretching, and then after that, I will be giving you some drills and some pointers on the rest of the form that you have to review that we didn't do the last 2 weeks. So, for our warm-up, as you can see, I have 2 walls next to me. This is not obviously a room, this is just a section of my room, and this is about half my room right now. So we are going to do 2 shuffles back and forth. That means 1 room full. So if you're just doing it in some sort of room, go your whole room length and then back. That should be 1. I'm going to be doing 2 because this is half my room, and I want to make sure that you guys can see that I am actually doing what you guys are doing. After that, we are going to do 5 jumping jacks and then 5 push-ups. So we're going to do that about 5 times, and then we are going to stretch and move on with our class. So just an example, I'm going to touch the wall, shuffle once and then twice because this is half a room. After that, we're going to do 5 jumping jacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 push-ups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then repeat. So that's going to be 1, but we have to do it 5 times. So if that was 1, we have to repeat that 4 more times. So let's begin. So shuffling, and then 5 jumping jacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 push-ups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back up and repeat. So as you guys are doing this, I want you to think about that toe heel line that I was talking about a couple weeks back. When you're in your guard stance, I want you to have that toe heel line, which means that your toe and your heel are pointing towards your target if it was in a straight line. So if I'm in a guard stance and I want to face the camera, my toe and my heel are in one line, and that line is also in line with the camera. So just like that, your shuffling should also reflect that. So if my hand and my toe and my heel are on the same line, that means that's going to be my target. So my toe and my heel, right now, if you can't see, they're in one straight line and they're pointing towards that wall. So that's one straight line, and I want to shuffle so that my toe and my heel connect and then come back out. So just like that, shuffle so that my toe and my heel touch, and then I can get to the next wall. So shuffle toe and heel, next wall. All right. So that's just something to think about, because when you're advanced dragon, that means you are going to have the opportunity to be in BBTC, which some cycles is sparring, and in sparring you shuffle a lot, and you want to keep that toe heel line as often as possible. I believe that's 4 times. I could be wrong. Shuffle. And then 5 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe this is going to be our 5th time. I could be wrong. I want you to make sure that you guys are counting though and doing the warm-up even if I'm counting wrong. So toe heel line once again. Shuffle once and twice. 5 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4,
and 5.
Now that we just did our warm-up, we are going to talk about our mental goal and our physical goal, which is going to be focus and respect. Respect is our mental one, focus is our physical one. First, we're going to talk about respect. I hope you guys are stretching. Please stretch because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Right now, I'm not going to be stretching because I don't want to lower my volume as I do some sort of stretch that might block my voice from going straight towards you, like this one where I'm just going to be talking down to the floor. But you guys can do any sort of stretch. If you need some examples, you can look up some stretching videos, or you can just look into the past videos that I've done, and I'm sure you can find some sort of stretch that will last this video. But as I was saying, respect. We talked about earning respect, which is showing people that you guys have done something and that you are treating them how they should treat you. And we also talked about what respect was, which is treating people the way you want to be treated. So if you want to be treated poorly, then you treat others poorly. But hopefully you guys want a lot of respect, so you have to show a lot of respect, which means that you have to show that you are very nice and that you should also be treated just as nice as you are treating others. Now, we are going to be talking about self-respect. This, in my opinion, is the most important respect that you guys will be learning. Respect is obviously how you treat others the way you want to be treated, but self-respect is how you treat yourself. A lot of people have very poor self-respect, and I hope that you guys don't have that mentality, which means don't think about yourself in a poor manner. Because self-respect is how you see yourself and how you should enjoy yourself. But if you have a poor self-respect, you don't like the way you are, and that is very bad. I want you guys to be able to look at yourself and think, I did that, I'm amazing. Things like that. So once in a while, just look into your mirror or look into a camera and just look at yourself and think about all the amazing things that you've done. Because if you guys don't have a good self-respect, you won't have a good self-esteem, which means that you won't perform as well as you can. I know myself, I can have a bad mentality sometimes, which means I won't think about myself as well as I should, but there's times where you can just look into the mirror and think about everything great you've done. One example of poor self-respect is when people perform. A lot of performers, even myself, go out and do something amazing, and then they'll remember that one horrible thing that they did. Like, an example for me, there's a flip in my form where I flip my weapon, and a lot of the time I drop my weapon as I do that flip. I always beat myself up when I get away from the crowd and I think about, that was the one thing I could have fixed. But with a good self-respect is when I forget what I did poorly and think about what I did awesomely, if that's a word. If you guys have seen me perform, I'm usually doing a lot of flips, I'm doing a lot of cool stuff with my weapons, and doing a lot of cool stuff just in karate in general, and if everything goes right, I usually have a good self-respect. Even though I might get second or third or fourth or at a tournament, I always think, man, I gave it all my best, and that's the best I could do. That's amazing. So that's something you could do as well. Say you guys play basketball or play the piano, and you guys are at a concert or at a game, and you score 30 points. That's amazing. You think to yourself, man, I did awesome. Even if you lost, you show yourself that you did your best and you are amazing. Something like a play or a concert where you sing or you act. If you give it your all, even if everyone else did poorly, you have to think, I did amazing. things like that. Sure, everything else went poorly, but I did my best, and I couldn't control what that happened. Things like that. So, think about yourself and show that you enjoy being you. Show that you enjoy being yourself. Don't think about what you could have done better. Think about what you did and how you did your best, and how that really shows that you really are amazing and you aren't some perfect person, but you are your perfect self, if that makes sense. Alright, so I think I've talked enough about focus. I think I talked about respect the most I can, so we are going to move on to focus. So, focus, as you guys know, is blocking out all the distractions and paying attention to the one thing, but not forgetting about the rest of the things in general. So, focus requires your eyes, your ears, your nose, every sense that you have. So that's touch, smell, hearing, seeing, and taste, but we're not going to focus on taste right now. But focus also can be used without one or two of them. So, one example is if you guys have taken class during Focus Month, we sometimes do a sort of game/drill where we, as the instructors, don't talk and you guys have to pay attention with your eyes and see what we're doing. You can also do this with your parents at home if you guys want, and you guys will have to pay attention to what your mom or your dad or your siblings are doing, and you have to think about what they're saying to do. So, one example is if I'm being the silent person and I have my feet together, that's usually a sign for you guys to say, "Feet together, sir." Or if I'm putting up a 1, that might also say, "Do Dragon Form 1," or something like that. So, your parents, after this class, you guys can work on that. Make sure that you guys are paying attention with your eyes or your ears or whatever you need at the time. But enough rambling about focus and respect. We are going to move on to our form. If you guys don't know by now, stripe test and graduation are coming up very soon, which means we have to pay attention and focus and work on our best form and our best out of line troubles. So right now, for this class, I am going to focus mainly on your form and the techniques in them, which means we have to power through this, get all the details, and then you guys with your parents can practice, make it look great, have an amazing stance, have amazing technique, and actually be able to strike. So, I hope you guys are done stretching by now. We are going to do Dragon Form 1 from the part that we left off last week. So, last week we were on a knee. We did 2 cat's paws, right then left, on our left knee, up. And we are going to move on and finish the form while also doing some sort of drill to make sure that we have all our details and know what we're hitting and how to hit. So, take a knee, cat's paw, cat's paw. After that, we are going to get in our guard stance. So, again, toe-heel line, because technically this is a neutral bow, and all bow stances have a toe-heel line, making sure that our toes are in line with our target, which is in line with our heel. So, my target is the camera, so the camera lines up with my toes, which lines up with my heels, like so. So it should be a straight line from my target to my heel, and my toes should also be on that line. After that, we are going to do a touchdown, but also move into a reverse bow. So instead of our weight being 50-50, it should be around 65, 35. If not, it should be 70-30, 70 or 65 on our back leg, 30 or 35 on our front leg, and do a touchdown and towards our target. So touchdown towards our target. If you guys are doing this with your parents, one drill that you can do is focus on where you're hitting. It should be the hard bone right where our wrist is, about. If not, the blade is perfect because that's a bit of a hammer fist. But one thing that you could do is your parents could have a balloon or a pillow or a stuffed animal, and they put it near your knee right here, and you want to make sure that you're hitting with this part of your hand, so that when you strike it, it actually hits hard instead of being your finger or your forearm, which is not as effective as your bone because it's a small surface area which gives it more force. That's a lot of physics, but I'm not going to explain it to you guys. So, trust me, try and hit with this small area with your arm and strike down near a balloon or a pillow. So strike. After that, we are going to do a reverse punch, turning right into a forward bow. Again, our toe and our heel into a line towards our target, twisting so that this time 70 or 65% of our weight is on our front and 35 or 30 is on our back. Doing a twist and punch towards our target vertically, the other hand as well vertically. After that, we are going to chop. So, when you guys are doing this, I want you to focus and pay attention on what you're hitting with. So, again, our low block or touchdown is with this part, our bone, which will strike hard on something soft, such as the nerves right here, or something of the sort like your calf, where it's soft and hard, which gives it a lot of damage and will hurt something that is hit by it. So I want you guys to try it on some sort of pillow or something of the sort where you strike it with specifically that target, because that will give it the most focus and the most damage, while also thinking about what you're hitting and how you're hitting it with. Now, we are going to talk about our twist and punch. If you guys don't know, our twist and punch is with these two knuckles. I'm going to try and come closer to the camera. So it's these two knuckles right here. So it's our index and our middle finger right here. And same one with this, pointer and middle. So again, you can do that same pillow drill, but this time with our knuckles. So if someone's holding a pillow or a stuffed animal, I can do a twist and punch, doing our two front knuckles, which will also provide us some safety. Because if we were trying to hit something very hard, like a wall or a person or something, and we strike really hard with these two knuckles, or not our two right knuckles, we are going to hurt ourselves. Because if we do it wrong and we strike really, really hard, our bones will fracture, which also means break, and it will hurt a lot and it will take time to heal. So please try and have that accuracy and that focus to pay attention and strike with only these two knuckles. One way that helps me do a perfect punch and strike with the right part is knuckle push-ups. So it might be a little advanced for some little dragons, but I'm hoping that you guys can at least try it, making sure that you're not going to hurt yourself at the same time. But what I do is I have my knuckles and I'm going to put them down on the floor with my two knuckles being the ones that are punching. So I'm going to get in a push-up position, like so. My 2 knuckles are the only ones touching the ground, and I'm going to push up, like so. If it's hard for you, that's perfectly okay. This is because sometimes it's harder because you can't use your hands to have more balance. So knuckles might be hard for some people, but it's perfectly okay. You can do them on your knees, you can do them from your toes, whatever you need. But this really helps focus that your punches are with your 2 knuckles instead of all of your knuckles at once, or your fingers, or the thumb, or something. So don't put your thumbs in the middle of your fist, or else you're going to break your thumb. But also don't put it like this, like a thumbs up, because that could also hurt your thumb as well. So again, put them right over the top, punching with these 2 knuckles, trying to strike at the same time as you do that push-up. Those are just some small drills that help focus on where our target is. Now we can talk about our chambers, which is what we do before we strike to give us more power. So if you guys see, when you're in a horse stance, our chambers are right here. So that means we are putting our hands back so that we are ready to strike. So we put our hands back and we are going to strike with a punch. It's the same thing with a punch in a forward bow. So my hand is here, ready to punch forward. So instead of putting it out down here, it has to be put back here and be able to strike out instead of bringing it all the way up and then back out. So make sure that when you guys are in a punching position, you guys actually put it so that you guys are in a chamber. Same thing with our touchdown. So if you guys see, there's a lot of different chambers for a touchdown, but right now I'm going to be in a reverse bow. I'm going to put my blocking hand near my ear and then bring it all the way down for that touchdown. So up and down. Make sure that you guys are covering it kind of like your side break fall, where you're covering your ear and then twisting all the way so that you're twisting our hand, giving that rotation so that we have power in our strike. Now for our chamber, for our chop at the end, you guys should be already doing it because this is part of our form. If not, I'm going to be reviewing it because it's very simple. Again, near our ear and chop. So you can put it flat, but that might irritate you. So I usually go like this and then be able to twist and actually strike with our chop. So with a chop, it's the same part with our touchdown. So that same bone or our palm heel, and be able to strike with that sort of technique. You could also, which is more broad, use the blade of your hand. So instead of that one area, you could use that whole side of your hand, which won't give you as much power, but gives you more leniency so that you don't hurt yourself. So that's just something to focus on. Again, hit a pillow or hit a stuffed animal or a balloon if you guys have it. Anything that's up to you, anything that won't break or won't hurt yourself or won't scare you. Anything that's parent approved is perfectly okay. Anything is up to you. This is up to you to practice and focus on and make it better. So that was the last section of our form. Again, I want you to go back to last week and the week before that and do those sections of the form and try and add them all together so that you guys have a very detailed part of the form and put it all together so that you have a very detailed form that you guys can perform at graduation or whatever. That is going to be it from me. I hope you guys did awesome during this class. I know this was a really wordy class, but I just wanted to give you those details so that you guys could work on your form by yourself. Post a picture of hashtag MAK beats COVID-19 and do your form during it or something that shows me that you actually did the class.